शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। कठोपनिषद अध्याय 1 वल्ली 3 मंत्र 13। यच्छेद्वाङ्मनसि प्राज्ञः तद्यच्छेज्ञान आत्मनि ज्ञानमात्मनि महति नियच्छेत् तद्यच्छेच्छान्त आत्मनि। One of the important aspects of assimilating the knowledge involves assimilating the mithyatva of the jagat. Jagan mithyatva nishchayah. And the process to assimilate Jagan mithyatva is दृश्य प्रविलापनम और दृश्य विलयः। Resolution of the drishya, resolution of the anatma. Drishya is anatma. All that is drishya, all that is object is anatma. The anatma is resolved step by step into the atma. And we have to understand that the resolution is not a physical one. The resolution is in our understanding. When you understand that an object does not exist independent of its cause, it is resolved. It is resolved into its cause. It is resolved into its substratum. Likewise, here the Upanishad is giving an approach to such a resolution. There can be many approaches, many ways of resolving. The Upanishad takes one approach. It is not necessary that we should follow the same approach. We can have other approaches also to resolve. One approach that is found elsewhere is Panchabhuta. Resolve everything into 5 elements and then resolve the 5 elements also one by one into its cause. Like the Prithvi is resolved into Jala, and Jala is resolved into Agni. Agni is resolved into Vayu, and Vayu is resolved into Akasha. And Akasha is resolved into Atma. The effect is resolved into the cause. We have the Srishti. In the Upanishad, there is a process of Srishti. And the Srishti is mentioned in an order. The resolution also should happen in the reverse order. Reverse order of Srishti. That is one way of resolving through 5 elements. Here, the Shruti is giving another way of resolution. The Indriyas are resolved into the Manas. Yached Vang Manasi Prajnaha. The senses are resolved into the Manas. Without Manas, the senses are as good as absent. The senses depend on Manas for their functioning. Therefore, senses do not exist. Indriyas do not exist without Manas. Thus, with this understanding, one resolves the Indriyas into Manas. And then the Manas is resolved into Buddhi. Tadyachet Jnana Atmani. Tat meaning Manas. Jnane Atmani Yachet. It should be resolved into Jnana Atma. Jnana Atma means Buddhi. The Upanishad refers to Buddhi as a Jnana Atma. The Manas depends on Buddhi. Manas is governed by Buddhi. Therefore, Manas is not independent of Buddhi. With this understanding, one resolves Manas into Buddhi. Jnanamatmani mahati niyachet. The Jnana Atma, Buddhi, is further resolved into Mahat Atma. Mahat Atma means Hiranyagarbha Upadhi. Mahat Tattva. which is samashti buddhi. The vyashti buddhi is resolved into samashti buddhi. With the understanding, my buddhi is just a part of the samashti. It does not exist independent of the samashti. With this understanding, one resolves the vyashti buddhi into the samashti buddhi, which is Hiranyagarbha. And then the Hiranyagarbha, samashti buddhi, Mahat, is also resolved into Atma, which is called Shanta Atma. Shanta Atma is Paramatma, the Atma which is absolutely Shanta, free from samsara. With the understanding that Hiranyagarbha, Mahat Tattva, does not exist independent of Paramatma. Thus, Mahat Tattva, the Samashti Buddhi, is also resolved into Paramatma. Then the resolution is complete. So, this way of resolving is useful in Nididhyasana. A part of Nididhyasana is assimilation of Jagan Mithyatva. And it is accomplished by means of this kind of a resolution. You meditate on, contemplate on this kind of a resolution. I resolve the Indriyas into Manas. Means Indriyas do not exist other than Manas. Assimilate this understanding. Then all Indriyas and all objects, their Mithyatva is assimilated. Then Manas also does not exist apart from Buddhi. Then the Mithyatva of Manas is also assimilated. Then my Buddhi does not exist other than Samashti Buddhi. Thus, individual Buddhi is merged into Samashti Buddhi. And then you resolve the Samashti into the Atma. The entire Hiranyagarbha is not independent of Paramatma. Therefore, not only my Buddhi is Mithya, the Samashti Buddhi, the Hiranyagarbha, is also Mithya. Then what is real? What remains as the real is only the Pratyagatma, the Paramatma. Ekameva Dvitiyam. That is how Jagan Mithyatva and Brahmanaha Ekatvam, Advitiyatvam is assimilated through this process. See, Yached Vangmanasi Prajnaha. Prajnaha means one who has understood the vision of Vedanta. He has already done Shravana and Manana to a good extent. But he has not done Nididhyasana. He has not assimilated Mithyatva of the Jagat. Such a person is called Prajna. Vak manasi yachet. Vak should be understood as Vacham. Dvitiya ekavachanam. Manasi yachet. It should be resolved into Manas. Manasi dirgha. It should be understood as Hrasva. Chandasam dairghyam. In Veda, sometimes a Hrasva is found as dirgha. Then Bhashyakara will say Chandasam dairghyam. The dirgha is a Vedic privilege. Veda has some special privilege in using certain forms of words which we don't have. Manasi should be understood as Manasi, Hrasva. So, the Indriyas, the Bahyendriyas are resolved into the Manas. And with the resolution of Bahyendriya, all the objects are also resolved into the Manas. Manas is Antahkarana. It is the inner instrument. The Bahyakaranas are put into the Antahkarana, resolved into the Antahkarana. And now the Antahkarana is also resolved into Buddhi. Here, Manas and Buddhi should be understood in a slightly different way. See, the Antahkarana, what we call Antahkarana or Buddhi, it has a vritti. It keeps getting vritti. Vritti means a modification. And the vritti comes in a stuff. There is a body called Antahkarana, mind. And in that, vritti keeps coming. It is like a lake, and in the lake, waves keep coming. There is a water portion, lake portion, and a wave portion. When we talk about the vritti, when we talk about the same Antahkarana, from the standpoint of the vritti, vritti pradhanyena, it becomes manaha. When vritti is considered, vritti pradhanyena, it is called manaha. And then it is referred to as karanam, instrument. But the same thing, same mind, when we consider it as a vrittimat pradhanyena, as the one who holds the vritti, then it is called buddhi. and it is not karana now, it is called kartru, the doer. The agent of all the actions is the buddhi. In fact, all our doership is housed by the buddhi. You can call it buddhi or vijnana, an important component of vijnanamaya kosha. So, vritti pradhanyena manaha karanam and vrittimat pradhanyena buddhihi kartru. So, this prakriya can be found in some places. In some prakarana granthas, it is elaborated on. So, now the vritti does not exist without vrittimat. That is how the vritti can be easily resolved into the vrittimat. Likewise, so jnana atmani. Jnana atma refers to the vrittimat, buddhi. The manas is resolved to jnana atma. The buddhi is called jnana atma because it is sentient in nature. The buddhi has sentiency. Where does it get the sentiency from? From the Atma. It has a borrowed sentiency. Therefore, it is called Jnana Atma. Bhashyakara will explain why buddhi is called Jnana Atma later on. And Jnanam Atmani Mahati Niyachet. Jnanam Atmanam. The buddhi also. Mahati Atmani Niyachet. It should be resolved into Mahat Atma. And Tadyachet Shanta Atmani. It should be resolved into Shanta Atma, which is Paramatma. We will see the Bhashya. Tat Pratipatyupayam Aha. Sambandha for this mantra. Tat Pratipatti Upayam Aha. Tat means Atma, Brahman. Pratipatti Upaya. The Upaya, the means for Pratipatti, means for attaining Brahman, implying the means for assimilating the knowledge. To assimilate the knowledge, one should assimilate the mithyatva of the Jagat. If the mithyatva of the Jagat is not assimilated, one cannot assimilate the Purnatva of Brahman also. Because if Jagat is Satya, in my understanding, Brahman cannot be infinite. To assimilate the infiniteness of Brahman, the Jagat should be understood as mithya, and the mithyatva should be assimilated. Therefore, Jagan mithyatva nishchaya is an integral and inevitable component of understanding Brahman. Yachet, niyachet, उपसंहरेत् प्राज्ञः विवेकी किं वाक् वाचं वागत्रोपलक्षणार्था सर्वेषामिन्द्रियाणां क्व मनसि 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 इति छान्दसं दैर्घ्यं यच्छेत् यच्छेत् is equal to niyachet. One should withdraw is equal to upasamharet, resolve. Yachet literally means one should withdraw. In this context, it means resolution, upasamhara. Who should do this upasamhara? Prajnaha. Prajnaha is equal to viveki. Viveki means one who has done Shavana and Manana. Kim, what should he resolve? Vak. Vak should be understood as Vacham, Vibhakti Vyatyaya. It can be understood as Vibhakti Vyatyaya or Dvitiya Vibhakti is Lupta. Even that can be said. Vagatropalakshanartha sarvesham indriyanam. Atra Vak sarvesham indriyanam upalakshanartha. Vak stands for all indriyas. Vak is an upalakshana. Upalakshana means a representative. It stands for itself as well as it stands for all its group, all the members of its group. That kind of a specification is called upalakshanam. Swapratipadakatve sati svetara pratipadakatvam upalakshanam. It stands for itself also. Swapratipadaka. In the meantime, it is Svetara Pratipadaka also. It stands for things other than itself also. Then it is called Upalakshanam. Swapratipadakatve sati Svetara Pratipadakam Upalakshanam. So, atra Vak sarvesham indriyanam upalakshanartha. Here Vak stands for all indriyas, not just Vagindriya. Vak is one indriya. We have to take all 10 indriyas. And here the indriya is Bahyendriya, not Antarindriya, because Antarindriya will be told separately later on. Where should one resolve the Vak? For resolution, there has to be a resolution ground. Where one should resolve them into. Because every resolution happens into its source. The effect is resolved into its cause. That is how resolution happens. The effect cannot go anywhere other than its cause. The wave cannot subside anywhere other than ocean. Therefore, here all the Bahyendriyas, their source is Manaha. Manasi. Manasi should be understood as Manasi. Manasi iti. Dairghyam chandasam. The dirgha. Dairghyam means dirghaha. Manasi, Dirgha is Chandasa. Chandasa means Vaidika. It is a Vedic usage. In the regular usage, it should be Hraswa, Manasi. Taccha manaha yachet jnane prakashaswarupe buddhau atmani buddhirhi mana adi karanani apnoti iti atma pratyaktesham taccha manaha, even that manaha yachet, it should be resolved jnane atmani, into jnana atma. And why buddhi is called jnana atma? Bhashyakara explains, jnane means prakashaswarupe. It is prakashaswarupa. Buddhi has prakasha, sentiency, because in the buddhi the atma reflects, the chaitanya reflects. Therefore it is prakashaswarupa. Prakashaswarupe atmani. It is called atma because buddhirhi mana adikaranani apnoti iti atma. Buddhi pervades all the karanas, all the senses, both antahkarana as well as bahya karanas are pervaded by the buddhi. The function of every indriya, including manas, is governed by the buddhi. Therefore, buddhi is apnoti iti atma. Here the word atma should be understood in its etymological sense, in its yogika artha, not rudha artha. The derivative meaning of atma is apnoti iti atma. The one that pervades is called atma. Apnoti iti atma. Since buddhi pervades manas and other senses, buddhi deserves to be called atma. Buddhirhi mana adikaranani apnoti iti atma. Buddhi pervades mana adikaranani. Therefore it is atma. And it is pratyaktesham. Since it pervades all the karanas, it is pratyak. It is inner compared to manas and other indriyas. It is the essence of manas and other indriyas. Manas and other indriyas cannot exist without buddhi. Therefore, manas and other indriyas, they can be resolved into the buddhi. Jnanam buddhim atmani mahati prathamaje niyachet prathamajavat swachha swabhavakam atmanah vijnanam apadayet ityartha. Jnanam is equal to buddhim. The buddhi also, the individual buddhi, one should resolve it into the samashti buddhi. Mahati atmani, in mahat atma. What is mahat atma? Prathamajaha. Prathamaja, the firstborn. In the process of creation, the Hiranyagarbha Upadhi comes first. Therefore, Hiranyagarbha is called Prathamajaha, firstborn. So, Buddhi is merged into Prathamajaha, which is nothing but the Samashti Buddhi. Niyachet, one should resolve it into. And when the individual buddhi is resolved into the samashti buddhi, the individual buddhi gives up all its narrowness. When we identify with the individual buddhi, I am this individual buddhi, the individual doer, individual enjoyer, everything is associated with the individual buddhi. Then there is narrowness, narrow-minded, self-centered, because I am a limited individual. This is me. Everything else is other than me. But when I understand, when I assimilate the fact that my buddhi is not independent of the samashti buddhi, the vyashti buddhi is essentially the samashti buddhi, then I am in tune with the universal mind, the cosmic mind. When I assimilate it, I lose all my narrowness. I no longer look upon myself as just an individual. Every mind is my mind. Therefore, everybody's feelings are my feelings. Everybody's emotions are my emotions. Everybody's pain is my pain. When I have this attitude, my mind becomes very pure, like the mind of Hiranyagarbha, like the samashti buddhi. The samashti buddhi is pure because it is free from the narrowness. Likewise, my buddhi also becomes pure. Therefore, Bhashyakara says, Prathamajavat, like Prathamaja, like Hiranyagarbha, Swachhasvabhavakam Atmanah Vijnanam Apadayet. Atmanah Vijnanam, the individual Vijnana, individual Buddhi, it should be made Swachhasvabhava. It should be made pure in nature, like Hiranyagarbha, with the understanding that my buddhi is not an individual compartment, it is just an integral part of the samashti buddhi. Therefore, I am Hiranyagarbha. My upadhi is Hiranyagarbha's upadhi. is a part of Hiranyagarbha's upadhi. So, then the mind becomes pure in this process. Tancha mahantam atmanam yachet shante sarva vishesha pratyastamit sarva vishesha pratyastamita rupe avikriye सर्वांतरे सर्वबुद्धि प्रत्यय साक्षिणी मुख्ये आत्मनि तं च महान्तं आत्मानं द महत् आत्मा द हिरण्यगर्भ द समष्टि उपाधि यच्छेत it should be resolved Shanti Atmani. Shanti means Sarva Vishesha Pratyastamita Rupe. Shanta means the one that is free from all Visheshas, one that is free from all attributes and all differences. The word Vishesha can be understood as attribute or difference. Bheda. It is free from all bheda. Sajatiya vijatiya swagata bheda rahita. Avikriye. Since no bhedas, since the Atma does not have any differences, it is avikriyaha, free from changes, free from modifications. Sarvantare, it is the innermost. Sarva buddhi pratyaya sakshini, and it is the sakshi, the witness, the illuminer of every modification of the buddhi, every cognition that happens in the buddhi. Mukhye Atmani, and it is the Mukhya Atma. All others are Gauna Atma. They are not Mukhya Atma. If I call body as the Atma, it is not Mukhya Atma. It is not real Atma. The real Atma is the one that really deserves the reference I. And it is nothing but the consciousness, the Chaitanya, which is the Sakshi of Buddhi. Next mantra. Uttishtata Jagrata Prapyavaran Nibodhata Kshurasya Dhara Nishita Duratyaya Durgam Pathastat Kavayo Vadanti. This is a call by the Upanishad to work for Atmajnana, to strive for Atmajnana. Most often people think that you don't have to make effort for Atmajnana. it happens on its own. If your prarabdha allows, the Guru will come and knock at your door, but it doesn't happen. One should make effort. Therefore, the Shruti says, Uttishtata, arise, stand up. Bhashyakara explains it as Atmajnanabhimukha bhavata. Work for Atmajnana. Turn towards Atmajnana. Jagrata. Wake up. Awake. Means get rid of ajnana. Make effort to get rid of ajnana. How is it possible? Prapya varan nibodhata. Varan prapya. Vara means acharya. A guru who is a brahmanistha, who is a brahmajnani, prapya, approaching him, nibodhata, get the atmajnana from him by means of shravana ityadi. And to get understanding, to get the understanding of Atma, one should really work hard. Because the pursuit of Atmajnana is not always easy. The second half of the Upanishad explains how difficult the pursuit is. Kshurasya dhara nishita duratyaya. Yatha, just as Kshurasya nishita dhara. Kshura means a razor. Dhara, the edge of a razor. And it is nishita, it is sharpened edge of a razor. If someone tries to walk on it, is it easy to walk over it? Walking on the edge of a razor. Duratyaya, very difficult to walk on it. Some people who have trained themselves in such adventure might be able to walk on it. But not everyone. Therefore, duratyaya, very difficult to walk on. Likewise, tat pathaha, the path of knowledge, The pursuit of understanding Brahman, it is also Durgam. It is Durga, difficult to accomplish, not easy. Kavayo vadanti, the Kavis, the wise men say so. The wise men who know about the pursuit, they say that it is not an easy walk. It is difficult. Therefore, one should make special effort. The Shruti does not intend to discourage a person. Instead, the Shruti wants to encourage a person, encourage a mumukshu to make special effort. We will see the Bhashya in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.